Melbourne's newest golf course. Does it slap? So for those unfamiliar, Freeway Golf Course in Balwyn North had a glow up. Not the kind of glow up in a teenage movie where the main character has a montage prior to going to their prom night, but the kind of glow up where the government has taken a substantial piece of land from you and you've had to rethink of how you can still offer an 18-hole golf course to the public. So Freeway had to adapt, and what's open today is a Pacific Coast design layout with several new holes, new and rebuilt greens, as well as a visual aesthetic that sets it apart from anything else that Melbourne's public golf scene has to offer. I've played Freeway before as Renovations, and I have had some minor criticisms about its layout and its playability. So given that it wasn't a rainy winter's day on my day off, I took the opportunity to go down to Freeway Golf and see the new course. improvement to what was there before. So positives. It's hard not to notice the wooden sleepers that are on the face of all the bunkers on the property, and I'm all for it. It slashes maintenance costs and effort to maintain it, which allows for attention to be turned elsewhere to improve other aspects of the course. I thought the routing was also an improvement on what was there before, especially since they swapped the closing 2 holes for each of the 9s, which means you're ending your 18-hole round on a tough uphill par 3 and a fun little downhill par 4, rather than the limp par 3 that currently is the 9th hole. Also, they got rid of that awful 12th hole, which was a long par 3 with an upside down saucer for a green, and integrated that with the old spare 19th hole, which I actually thought was the best hole on the property and was a mistake to only play it when other holes were out of play. Another massive win is tee time bookings. Tee times are spaced out at 10-minute intervals, which is great given the shortness of the course. Most courses in the area cram them in at about 8 or 7 minutes, which can lead to really long rounds as you wait on the groups in front of you who are waiting on the groups in front of them. I flew around on a Monday afternoon in about 3 hours, and this was with traffic on the back 9. The negatives. Fairway drainage. This has long been a problem for Freeway Golf Course or any other public and private golf course that plays along a creek or river in Melbourne. Freeway did take the opportunity to re-turf all of their fairways, and they did introduce some additional drainage, but in my opinion there could have been more. There were holes that weren't even by a creek that were still mud pits, for example the 8th, the 11th, and the 13th. To top it all off, golf carts is still allowed on the course, which I totally understand as a public golf course because it's a massive revenue maker for them. But given that there are tons of trees on the property which really prevent the fairways from drying out, the golf carts are really doing some noticeable damage to the fairways. There are also a couple of little things where I would like to call them the jury's still out there on. There were a couple of greens with weird bumps that ran through them, which I suspect covers drains. I know there were some issues that forced some of the greens to be closed when Freeway reopened. So hopefully these bumps are on the radar to be addressed in the near future. If not, you're gonna have essentially what are speed humps that run through center of greens. Length. From the previous layout, you did lose the opening par 5, some longer par 4s that were on the newer developed site, as well as the old 11th par 4, which was a long one that's been split into a par 3 and a short par 4. I personally don't have a problem with the shorter course, as I think the layout does present an opportunity to hit every club in the bag as I did, but I can also understand, especially for the longer hitters, if this course does present as more one-dimensional, especially given the lack of par 5s on this course. Considering that Freeway Golf Course did give up a lot of land back to the government, I think Pacific Coast Designs has done really well to retain 18 holes. Would I come here to play again? I think it complements the public golf landscape in Melbourne and offers something different enough to what is essentially its main competitor as Yarra Bend. I just wouldn't play either after a massive downpour.